gentlemen, here's your host of Chop Talk, Lena Timbo.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Chop Talk. On today's episode of Chop Talk, we'll be discussing food and culture, two of my favorite things to discuss because I love food, and how else do you get to know people's food without through culture? My name is Lena, and again, I'll be your host for today, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started. On today's episode, we have three guests. We have a cook, an entertainer from Brazil, and we have a baker. Since we're in the midst of the holidays, I thought the best way to bring up this segment is by talking about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is that time of the holiday, that time of the year where people gather together and they eat food. And who doesn't love food? So normally on Thanksgiving, I cook, so I'm never really even eating in the morning. But I have a question. When you wake up on Thanksgiving morning, do you starve all day and wait for the big finale, or do you eat food in the morning because you know you're not going to be eating until 7 p.m.? Thanksgiving. Yes, exactly. You can't really just let yourself starve. However, though, I always find myself munching on food, and most of the time, by the end of the day, I'm not even hungry. Like, I don't even want to eat. I'm definitely eating for aesthetics at this point. A little bit about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a national holiday. It's celebrated in the United States, Canada, Liberia. So Thanksgiving for me, is an enlightening way to get to know people's cultures. It's so funny because my hairstylist was telling me about how she and her Hispanic neighbor had a Thanksgiving and they used Google Translate to communicate the whole time. And she's from Gambia and they're from El Salvador, and they would comment on the food and use Google Translate. I'm just like, wow. So through that, they learned about the El Salvadorian culture, like, the pupusas, and vice versa. They learned about, jollof rice and fried fish, and how Thanksgiving is just, something that's celebrated amongst American cultures, because really, I'm Zambian and we celebrate it here, but people back home don't celebrate Thanksgiving at all. It's just another day to them. They don't even know what's going on. It's just like, I was raised in America, so my parents celebrated Thanksgiving, and during that time, we just gathered together. Like, we don't even eat turkey. Turkey wasn't introduced into my family until, I don't even know, like, my grandmother remarried, and she remarried an American, and they eat turkey, and even then, we just always never ate it. Like, I love turkey wings. I mean, now I can make a turkey because I went on YouTube and figured out how to make a turkey. It's not because I've grown up making it, but now I can make a turkey and it's bomb, so I'm not even complaining. However, though, it wasn't tradition for us to stuff the turkey, or, who gets to carve the turkey, and all those things are traditions for so many people. I think, I really did make my first turkey off the limb of YouTube, and it was bomb. Yes. Another thing, how do you guys feel? I mean, you guys already answered the questions in the poll, and one of the questions was actually surprisingly to me, because which side dish do you prepare? Do you prefer? Rice won, but mac and cheese? I mean, mac and cheese is such a staple, essential side dish. It's like, if your mac and cheese is not mac and cheesing, it has to go. It's like, so how do you feel about mac and cheese? Do you guys prefer it to be baked, or do you guys prefer it to be like Kraft macaroni and cheese straight out the box? Because it's a big thing. It's, if your mac and cheese isn't doing what it needs to do, don't even bring it to Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, I personally make an amazing mac and cheese, so I can't really say I'll really let anyone else take up that responsibility, So yes, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get to introduce our artist of the evening. He is a Brazilian musician and producer. He is Mr. Gideon, and he'll be our entertainer for today. I'll be back.
How are you guys? Glad to be here, sing for you from Brazil. Deixar a vida solta correndo o rio, um dia cachoeira encontrará. Você despencará sem saber o que te atingiu, e é tarde pra depois querer subir o rio. Deixar a vida solta correndo o rio, um dia cachoeira encontrará. Você despencará sem saber o que te atingiu, e logo sua vida chegará ao fim. Liberdade não está em fazer o que se quer, ou não, mas fazer a vontade de Deus, vivendo como Ele quer, dispensando no poder de Deus, vivendo como Ele quer. Liberdade em fazer o que se quer, ou não, mas fazer a vontade de Deus, vivendo como Ele quer, dispensando no poder de Deus, vivendo como Ele quer. Deixar a vida solta correndo o rio, um dia cachoeira encontrará. Você despencará sem saber o que te atingiu, e é tarde para depois você subir o rio. Deixar a vida solta correndo o rio, um dia cachoeira encontrará. Você despencará sem saber o que te atingiu, e logo sua vida chegará ao fim. Liberdade não está em fazer o que se quer, ou não, mas fazer a vontade de Deus, vivendo como Ele quer, dispensando no poder de Deus, vivendo como Ele quer. Liberdade não está em fazer o que se quer, ou não, mas fazer a vontade de Deus, vivendo como Ele quer, dispensando no poder de Deus, vivendo como Ele quer. Liberdade não está em fazer o que se quer, ou não, mas fazer a vontade de Deus, vivendo como Ele quer, dispensando no poder de Deus, vivendo como Ele quer. Esta canção
This song,
é uma canção que fala sobre você deixar a sua vida solta pelo rio
this song talks about you let your life on a river,
e não pode deixar a sua vida sem controle,
and we cannot live our lives without control
porque depois você não pode voltar para
because
trás.
we cannot go back.
O mais importante é deixar a sua vida nas mãos de Deus,
The most important thing is let your life
para que Ele te ajude a controlar.
God's control so He can help it.
Sem solução, na solidão e sem razão, razão pra ser feliz. Não tem amor, desprezo só quando não quer sentir o amor de Deus. Vive assim e não é feliz, não sente amor por quem o criou. É insensato, ingrato, não reconhece, não agradece o amor que Jesus deixou. seu sangue lá na cruz. Preste atenção, tente entender a história que fez você nascer. Venha ser como eu, creia em Deus, o som da criação. Deus rege com suas mãos. Seja assim e viva feliz. Sinta amor por quem o criou. Não seja ingrato, insensato. Você é criação. Venha ser meu irmão. E Deus será nosso Pai, o Criador da terra, céu e mar. E você?
Wow, that was so beautiful. That was very nice. Wow. I have never heard Brazilian music before. Actually, I've never been to Brazil, but I've had Brazilian steakhouse and get Brazil, and I've actually had an amazing Brazilian dessert called doce de leite. Gideon just told me how to pronounce it correctly. It is amazing. It's like a milk and sugar type of dessert. It's amazing. So speaking of desserts, we're actually going to go ahead and get into our next guest. Our next guest is Miss Carmen Knight of the Knight Bakery, a small woman-owned business that satisfies your sweet craving. So Miss Carmen Knight. Okay, Miss Carmen. So actually, since that we're on the topic of Thanksgiving, are you normally responsible for desserts around the time of the holidays? And what is your go-to dessert?
Well, first, thank you for having me here. And yes, I am responsible for the desserts for Thanksgiving and any holiday. And my go-to dessert is usually like a red velvet cake.
Oh, okay. And do you make do you have cream cheese filling?
I do. That cream cheese is the best.
Of course.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the Night Cakery.
So the Night Cakery, as you said, is a small women-owned business. It's a home cakery, so I bake out of my home. And my goal really is to satisfy your sweet tooth. I mean, I love desserts, I love cake, and I created this business because I love cake and I love good cake. And it's sometimes hard to get good cake. So I decided to, let me just start my own business.
And put it in your own hands.
And put it in my own hands, exactly.
Amazing. How old were you when you first started baking? And did you own an easy bake oven?
Oh my God, yes. I love Easy Bake Oven. I mean, you could not tell me that was not a real oven. I started baking probably when I was about 5 with my grandmother.
Well, you want to know what's so crazy? Easy Bake Ovens right now cost more than a Ninja air fryer. So
Exactly.
It's so crazy. That's amazing though. Okay, so I love cupcakes. Okay. And I know you can play with cupcakes so many different ways. What are a few unique cupcake recipes that you played with that have just been astonishing at the end of the day?
One really popular one that's it's not different or unique. It's lemon, but I do it's almost like a lemon overload. And I call it lemon drop.
Okay.
So it's I don't know if you've ever had the Starbucks lemon pound cake.
No,
lemon
when you
milk.
said lemon drop, I was thinking like lemon drop martini.
Right.
So I was like,
Same concept, right?
I was like, okay, I see where she's
But it's like
going with
really
this.
lemonly. It's a lot of lemon flavor if you like lemon, and it's really sugary. So it's almost like a sugar overload with lemon and sugar, and the tartness of the lemon, and then the sweetness of the sugar.
Yes, I love lemon cake, so I could only imagine like I have to come and try it. I have
Yes,
to.
you
Like,
will
at this
definitely have
point,
to
I have
try
to come
it.
and try it.
Exactly.
Okay. What is your most challenging like baking project?
Good question. During Christmas time, I get a lot of orders for cookies, and decorative cookies. My last big order was for ugly sweater cookies, and that was a huge challenge. It was time consuming because it was really detailed. If you can think of, ugly sweater, so it's like all that detail onto the cookie, and it just, it took a long time to do, but it turned out it was really fun. It's a really fun project.
That's good. Yeah, no, I mean, ugly sweaters, I mean, I'm very festive. So if I'm going to go all out for something, I'm going to go all out. But I'm just thinking of like an ugly sweater. I'm just thinking of like the lines, the marks, the squares, the candy canes, the Christmas trees. Like,
yes, the
definitely.
reindeer.
Like, how many did you make?
I made about 200.
Wow. How big is your oven in your home?
Actually, it's a regular size oven. So it was,
Wow.
it was time consuming, but it was definitely doable, and it came out great.
Baking, I mean, I cook and I can do a lot of stuff with my eyes closed, but baking, it's very, you're obviously very patient and very much to the T, because, it's like, if I put too much salt in something, I could add some honey and take the salt away. But once you're baking and you put too much of something, it's like you have to throw the whole thing away and start over. Like,
exactly, the whole thing. I can't tell you how many things I've thrown out.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, especially like cupcakes. They made, if they sink in the middle, it's like, oh man.
I can only imagine.
The whole thing in the trash and start all over.
What can you bake like with your eyes closed? Like you can just do that in your sleep, like in the back of your head. You don't even need to look at any recipes. You're just like, okay.
Chocolate cake. It's one of my, like a chocolate fudge cake. It's one of my favorites.
What are you showing us today, and what did you bake, and what are we going to be looking at?
So I baked a chocolate fudge cake, and I started decorating it, and I'm going to just do a little more piping on the top of the cake, and then just add a couple of, decorations on the top. So that's
every time I think of chocolate fudge cake, I think of like Matilda and like that scene where that chocolate cake. Have you seen it?
Yes. Yes. So I'm just going to just do a little more decorations on the top. Okay. Yeah, like I said, chocolate is one of my favorites.
And your bakery, your shop, it's located where?
I am in Brentwood, Maryland, in Prince George's County.
Okay. And are your items made to order, or do you have them? Do you wake up and bake 20, 50 cupcakes a day? Like,
right there, it's made to order. So they're custom orders. I can do some last minute orders just depending on what may be going on, but usually everything is custom. Yeah. Add a little festive sprinkles just for the.
Who doesn't love sprinkles and chocolate cake? Like,
yes,
it's like such a childhood favorite.
Exactly. And there we are.
So like, when you're on these like bake competitions, they're like, if I cut into the center of this cake and I pull out a slice of cake, am I gonna get like all 3 layers of the cake?
Yes, you will. Some cakes have 4 layers, so it just depends on the cake itself. So I have I'll do some 4 layers, some 2 layers. Sometimes there'll be a little surprise in the middle. So it just depends.
And is there any filling?
In this particular one, there's no filling, but sometimes I'll get a request for like a chocolate mousse filling, and I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I see you mentioned earlier that you started baking with your grandmother. What was the first thing that you and your grandmother baked? Like,
oh my God. Pies. We did a lot of pies. We baked apple pie, sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie. It was always pie.
and your tradition, you're American, are you?
Yes.
Okay. And what is so yeah, I know you have like a whole Thanksgiving spread. So
Right.
what are like some of your favorite childhood memories of baking? Is it always cooking with your grandmother or?
Always cooking with my grandmother, and my grandfather actually worked at a bakery. So did some baking with him as well. I just remember, being in the kitchen, unable to really reach the stove, but, just being there on a step stool, trying to stir the pot, stir the bowl, and help make the pie or whatever it was that my grandmother was making at the time.
What are some of your like family traditions around the time of the holidays?
Eating. The most important, really, we gather around just to eat and just to, spend time together, fellowshipping, just talking. But the main highlight, is the food itself, and especially dessert. So I don't care how much you've eaten. There's always, you always have to make room for dessert. Always.
Of course, like especially with a baker, it's like, what? I baked all of this, and you gonna tell me you're full? Like,
right, exactly. Yeah, you can even unbutton the top button of your pants, but
you're gonna make some room.
You're gonna make room for dessert. Yes, always.
That is amazing. And how big is your family now? Do you often find yourself baking and just taking stuff, or just baking and always having people come over and have sweet treats to eat? Do people always come to your house just because they know, oh, there's some sweets over here at Aunt Carmen's house?
Right. There's a lot of that. I'll get a phone call or a text, what'd you bake today? What do you have? But now that I'm, constantly baking, I always have something. I always have something like in the freezer. It takes like just a second to, get it ready. But I always have to have something on hand for people who just want to stop by. And I think it's really just for the dessert, not to see me, but just for just for something sweet.
Just because, wow. So like after baking, do you are like, okay, let me try this cupcake. Let me eat this cupcake right now. Like for me personally, like after I cook, I'm like, okay, like I need to do a lot. I need to take a shower. I need to have a glass of wine. I need to decompress. I need to watch the news. I need to do something before I actually eat, because I've been in the kitchen this whole time. Smelling all this food. It's like, now I'm not even hungry anymore.
Right. And I try to, I have to sample as I go. And that's really problematic. So, you stay in the gym because there's no way that you can not eat what you're baking.
Yeah, of course, because it smells delicious. Baked food smells like a factory. It's like, okay, of course, you're going to have to try this piece of cake.
Exactly.
That's amazing. If there is any recipe you could pass on to generations and generations, what would it be?
Probably for red velvet cake, which is one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. I would pass that along. Something I've been working on, trying to tweak here and there. So I think I would pass that on just to make sure it's made correctly.
What's so special about it? Like,
I guess just the love and care that's put into it, and just the sampling of different ingredients. It's really important to have good quality ingredients. That really makes a difference.
Yeah, I know like red velvet, it still blows my mind that red velvet is chocolate, but
Exactly.
I mean, like,
it's chocolate, but it's different,
so,
right?
So do you, I mean, like, is it a cocoa powder and like a red coloring, or like, do you turn chocolate cake into red velvet? Like, what is, obviously don't give me your secret recipe, but
Right.
what is the buildup of like a red velvet cake foundation?
I think it's it's the good buttercream. I've learned you can't use any low fat ingredients, right? If you want it to, the fat really matters. So good quality, buttermilk, and butter, and just the quality chocolate powder that you use. I started using espresso powder.
Wow. Okay, like, you mean like the espresso I drink in my, oh wow. Okay. What is the most amount of time you spent like working on something, like, okay, oh, this is not right, let me try it again. This is not right, let me try it again.
Oh
This
my
is not
God.
right, let me try it again, in one day?
I can spend a good 5-6 hours working on one thing.
Okay.
And just, it's just amazing how quickly the time goes by. You don't even realize it. But
I can only imagine. Because like, it's probably like 45 minutes to an hour to bake, and it's
right.
like, now you're sitting down, and it's like, okay, now that's done. Now topping dessert. And how can people reach you to place any orders?
I'm on Instagram at the Night Cakery.
Oh yeah.
I'm also on my website is thenightcakery.com, and I'm also on Facebook as well.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and make sure that's dropped down in the chat section so people can have access to get in contact with you. Thank you so much, Miss Knight. I'm definitely going to place an order for the holidays. I have to have some cupcakes for the holiday season. So I look forward to placing an order with you, and thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Have a great one.
Thank you. You too.
All right, everyone. And we're going to welcome back to the stage our entertainer, Mr. Gideon, and he's going to go ahead and perform another song for us. Gideoni?
A olhar pra mim com nada mais se importou. Ao me ver assim, a si mesmo entregou. Aquele que é rei, seu trono no céu deixou. E assim fez só porque um dia me amou. Ao olhar pra mim com nada mais se importou. Ao me ver assim, a si mesmo entregou. Aquele que era em seu trono no céu deixou. E assim fez só porque um dia me amou. Eu não entendo como pôde alguém assim me dar a honra de chamar Deus de Pai. Porque o filho morreu para salvar um pobre pecador. A dor de Jesus, Deus numa cruz, a morte, o amor. E assim fez só porque um dia me amou. A Bíblia diz porque Deus o mundo amou e o seu filho por ele entregou. E em gotas de sangue é derramado em mim o amor. Eram pra mim, tudo pra mim. Os cravos, a cruz, espinhos em Jesus. E assim fez só porque um dia me amou. Anjos no céu olham pra trás sem entender que assim fez só porque pra sempre nos amou. Eu quero me entregar àquele que se derramou na cruz e me derramar àquele que se entregou. A Bíblia diz porque Deus o mundo amou e o seu filho por ele entregou. Em gotas de sangue é derramado em mim o amor. Eram pra mim, tudo pra mim. Os cravos, a cruz, espinhos em Jesus. E assim fez só porque um dia me amou. Anjos no céu olham pra trás sem entender que foi capaz o Senhor se entregar por mim na cruz, o autor da vida morreu. E assim fez só porque um dia me amou. E assim fez só porque pra sempre nos amou. Oh, oh, oh. Eu quero me entregar àquele que se derramou na cruz e me derrama àquele que se entregou. He didn't mind to die because he loves me. He didn't mind to die because of his unfailing love. He didn't mind to die because he loves me. He didn't mind to die because of his unfailing love. Eram pra mim, tudo pra mim. Os cravos, a cruz, espinhos em Jesus. E assim fez só porque pra sempre nos amou.
We're actually going to go ahead and we're going to keep the show rolling. But before I invite our next guest, I want some of you to let me know who makes the best jollof rice, because jollof rice has been such a controversy and everyone who makes jollof rice thinks they make the best jollof rice. So go ahead and drop your comments in the section and let me know how you feel about it. And while we're on that subject, I'm gonna go ahead and invite our next guests. They are from Liberia and they actually won the jollof rice contest. They are from the DMV Chop Bar, June and Precious. Precious and June.
Hi, how are you? Hello, good evening.
Hello, how are you?
Doing well. Thank you for having us. Yes, we're good.
Of course, I'm honored. So we're on the topic of jollof, and being that you won, tell us about that. Tell us about your experience about winning the most debated thing in the controversy.
So that was definitely an amazing experience. That was our first competition that we participated in, and we went in just wanting to have fun, just wanting to kind of get our name out there and show, the DMV area that librarians can definitely cook and cook well. And we were just definitely surprised when we won first place in 2018 for the Jello Fest. So that was amazing.
Awesome. Tell us about DMV Chop Bar.
Yeah, so we started in 2018, so the year of the Jello Fest, and we just started out of our home in Silver Spring. We started making individual platters to sell, and that year it just really just took off. Then we started getting events. So we do little and big events, from baby showers to weddings, whatever it is. We've been cooking throughout the DMV area.
Okay, and so you two are cousins. What made you guys, how did you guys know you shared the same passion in the kitchen to get together and do business? Like, did you guys start that at a young age, or did you guys just?
Well, very young age, actually. So we are cousins and we grew up together, played a lot of games. One of the games that we played is just pretend kitchen, if you will. And we used to be at our grandmother's house in the summertime, and we'll go outside and literally use like the leaves from the trees and say we're making cassava leaf or potato greens. So we were cooking before we even knew this was going to come to fruition. But we do have a passion for it. We love food. Our family, we have some great cooks in our family, so we definitely got firsthand experience from them as well. And then we just thought, in this area, there was definitely a need. There's a lot of different West African cuisine here, but we definitely wanted to fill the Liberian cuisine platter, and we're able to do that. So it was definitely a passion. We love food. We love to eat. So that's how we definitely started.
Okay, and you mentioned something I was going to ask about, potato leaf or cassava leaf. Which do you prefer to make every single day? Like, which is your go-to? Which is your favorite? What could you eat?
Oh, that's a tough one because they're both really good. But cassava leaf is probably like a fan favorite. There's a lot of other West African countries that also eat cassava leaf, made a little bit differently, but it's definitely a food that you can share with people that are not African, and they'll enjoy it as well. But that's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Awesome. So if someone asked you randomly, like, okay, go make something right now, this is a question for both of you. What would you make? Either of you can answer first.
I probably would go and make a chicken gravy. It's something really good. It's simple. You can eat it with white rice. You can eat it with check rice. And yeah, it's definitely a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what rice after white rice?
It's check rice. So it's white rice made with spinach and some spices, and you eat it with either chicken gravy or fish gravy.
So is it fried? Like, is it a fried rice?
No, you make it just like you make white rice, and then you mix in the spinach and you mix in the fixins. Some people even use okra and add it to the rice as well.
Oh, wow, that sounds...
Yeah, it's really good.
I
We'll have to
try.
get you some too.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
For me, I would say fried spinach. That's definitely like a family favorite of ours. I love to eat it as well. It's stuff we make with chicken. It's almost kind of like, if you will, like a surf and turf, because there's chicken. You can put spinach. You can put shrimp in it as well. Some people put fish in theirs, but it's fried spinach, and then you also, it's like a stew, and you would eat it with rice, with white rice.
Okay, and now I'm gonna do a spin-off to that question and ask, if you could eat one dish for the rest of your life, what would you eat?
I probably would have to go back to that cassava leaf. It would be the cassava leaf. And of course, as you heard, everything that Liberians eat, we eat it over rice. So it'd be cassava leaf and white rice.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, I will go a little bit off the edge, and I'll say okra stew, which is made with palm oil as well. It's like one of those dishes that you have every once in a while, but it's one of my favorites. So if I could eat it every day, I would.
Okay. Do you prefer traditional food every day, or do you prefer to jump out the box?
Definitely really traditional. I love the Liberian food. I love all of West African food in general. So you'll catch us getting cravings for like suya, and we'll get some beef and start roasting up some suya for us to eat, or just any kind of rice. So I prefer Liberian food.
Are you the type of household that has rice like in the rice pot, like?
We actually do. If you look to your right, we have a rice cooker, that white portion that's kind of like peeking out. So there is rice in there. But
Of course.
Yeah, it's definitely something that you have, because I think for a lot of West Africans, like you can eat rice for breakfast, for lunch, or for dinner. It's definitely not one of those things that is just, it's important for dinner time. So we definitely have rice all around the day.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. The first time I tried cassava leaf was with my Liberian friend, and I'm Zambian, so we don't really rice in a rice cooker is not like something that we do. We don't really like have rice as our main dish. So I just found it so amazing. It's like, wow, like boom. It was like what every day after school. It was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's like what rice and cassava leaf. And it was always so good. It's like, wow. So I just know that is just really just the staple. It's just like, you can't go wrong with that. What was the first meal either of you prepared for your families?
Wow, good question. I want to say probably jollof rice. That was one thing that I think both of us learned to prepare early on, and that was one thing that got us going. And that Liberians are also known for their jollof rice too, so it was always kind of like a dish that you had to have. So people always requested it.
Yeah, I would say the same. It's one of those dishes that you have to know how to make.
Yeah.
Okay, did you guys grow up here in the DMV, or did you grow up back home in Liberia?
So
did you go to the same school?
Funny enough, we grew up here and we were born and raised in Maryland. People taste our food and they're like, "Are you sure you were born in Liberia?" But yeah, we both were born here in Maryland.
Yes, because you're first generation Liberian American.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, amazing. And your family, they're here, like your parents?
Yeah, both of our parents are here, have been here for years. Our grandmother is definitely an inspiration to us, and she had 11 children, and we're blessed to know that all of our aunts and uncles are also here in the US with us, spread throughout the states, but for the most part, everyone is here, so.
Wow, that's big. How is your Thanksgiving like? Because if you have, that's big. If you want to keep it small, but you're already big amongst you. So like, what is the size? Is it normally big? Do you guys have?
Growing up, Thanksgiving was always big. It was always big growing up. We'd have all the aunts and uncles, cousins running around, but because of the pandemic now, things have gotten a little bit smaller. So
yeah, of course.
Typically you'll have maybe 10 at the most. But hopefully after we're done with the pandemic, we get back to our big celebrations during the holidays.
Wow, I don't know how you can keep it small. Like for Thanksgiving here, we kept it small just among us, like the close families. But like, after families have to expand, it's like, okay, this person's married, now they have kids. It's like, anyways, long story short, it was like 30 people. And I'm like, how do we even get to 30 people with the kids and like everybody in the house? I was just like, that is so confusing. Okay, so, and what did you guys prepare for us today?
So today we're actually preparing a nice kind of like delicacy meal for us, and it's the Liberian African donut. So we're gonna do a demo for you all today. So we are gonna tilt our camera down so we can start the demo, and if you all have any questions, definitely let us know.
Awesome, I'm excited.
So like June said, we're gonna be making Liberian donuts for you guys today. You always want to make sure that you have a clean surface because we like to do it right on the counter. So we just use a little soap and water, scrub it really good, make sure your hands are nice and clean. And we have our dough that's already prepared for us. So we'll just grab a piece of that. You want to ball it up, get some flours on your hands so that way the dough does not stick to you. To make the dough, we just use flour, water, and yeast.
And of course, we let it rise. Once it's risen after like 30 minutes, you want to just grab a piece of that dough and you're going to stretch it out into a long enough piece to form the donut. This dough has kind of been sitting a lot longer than we'd want to, so please excuse me. And you'll just place it on your index finger and twist it around into a donut. When you're making it, all of them are always going to look different, so don't worry about how it comes out. You want to twist it at the end, that way you put it in the oil, it does not loosen. Again, I'll do it. I'm gonna stretch it out. Place it on our index finger and twist it. And there are they're sisters, not twins, so they don't all have to. And then once you form it, you'll let it rise up a little bit, and then you put it in the oil. We want to make sure that our oil is not too hot, so like on a medium-high heat. And then they'll come out looking like this. And once they come out of the oil, put them on a paper towel, and you'll want to stick them right in the sugar and cinnamon mix.
And that's just sugar and cinnamon. Brown sugar,
it's
regular
literally just sugar and cinnamon. And this is a great recipe that you can make with children because they love this part where you can shake it up. You can shake it up, get the cinnamon all on the donut, and then they'll come out looking like this. So this is a great treat that we eat around the holidays, special events. We have donuts. It's something very simple, and this is a big request from a lot of our customers.
Wow, the guests are saying that looks delicious and that they'll be trying to make this at home. Can you please do that one more time? Because what? Wow.
I know it all happened really fast. And like I said, the dough has kind of been sitting a little bit, so it's risen a little bit more than we would like, but this kind of happens pretty fast. You form it, you dip it into the oil. Once you bring it out the oil, you put it in your sugar and your cinnamon, and it's good to go.
Wow. So yes, I will definitely be coming for mine. Thank you so much, because wow, like, again, I don't have the time to patience even watch dough rise. Like that right there is like, wow. Like, because when you cook, you're mixing stuff. Like, how did you even now decide, okay, like, let me have the patience to be baking? Like, that takes so much patience.
Yeah, definitely. It was something, I feel like growing up, it was one of those foods that it's like, it was always around. And as kids, you just want to eat 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Like, you want to keep on eating them. So it's always like been a fan favorite. It's always been like a favorite in our household as well. So we had to learn how to make it and to make sure we're serving it for our customers.
Yeah, it looks like I can't have one and I don't want to have another one. Like, it looks like if I order a box, it's not making it out of the house.
Oh no. So we have to make it and then give it away.
Exactly. So speaking of order a box, how can we order from?
Yeah, so we are on Facebook as well as Instagram, so you can follow us at DMB_ChopBar, and you can put in a request through our DMs, and you'll have all of our information. I'm sure it'll be placed in the chat.
Okay, and everything is just made to order. You guys are caterers, so you don't have small plates. Everything is made for platters, for large parties.
Correct. Yeah. So that's one thing. Like we said, when we first started, we were definitely doing individual platters. Now we love to cater events. So weddings, baby showers, any home gatherings. Of course, the holidays are coming up. So we also have platters, full and large trays that we're doing for the holidays. So definitely check us out this Christmas season if you're looking to have food prepared for your family.
Of course, we definitely look forward to it. Is there anything else that you have to say to everyone?
No, I just thank you for the opportunity for us to come and share our craft.
Yes,
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Here, but we had a questionnaire and we had a little poll, and I just want to go ahead and share the results. So The question was, when it comes to food, do you prefer spicy or mild? The winning answer was spicy, and I agree with that because like food has to have a little kick to it. It has to just slap you in the face sometimes. Okay, Miss Mara, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It was actually, I lied. It was a 67 to 33%, and mild actually won. I apologize. I am viewing the poll right now. And other questions that were asked was, when it comes to the holidays, what do you prefer? Do you prefer turkey or do you prefer chicken? The winning answer was chicken, and I also agree with that because I grew up eating chicken instead of turkey, and I love making turkey wings and turkey drumsticks, but for a full turkey, I'd rather prefer having a full roasted chicken than and also it takes like so much longer to cook a whole turkey than a whole chicken. And another question was, what's on your holiday menu? And some people said rice versus mac and cheese, and it makes sense because you have to obviously have the standard dish of rice on your holiday menu, but mac and cheese, like, it's mac and cheese, like, what? Like, I literally have a small casual dish to make mac and cheese because I have to have mac and cheese, like, in my own personal time. It's like, and then the question is, what's for dessert? Dessert, cake or pie? For me personally, like by the time that I am done eating food, I don't have any room for dessert. It's very seldom that I'm eating dessert. I will take dessert home and eat it at home later on. Sheesh, like actually, like sometimes I take dessert home and it just stays there because it sounded good at the time, and now I just don't want it. But the winning answer this evening was cake. Oh, cake won overall pie, and I mean I agree with that because I've never really been a pie person. Like, I don't really think I like pie crust. I do like pie crust because I like cheesecake, no, but cheesecake has graham cracker crust, so it's not even the same thing. So yeah, I've never been a pie person, like an apple pie person. Just, yeah, no. We have gotten to a part of a segment of our show. We were going to be doing some giveaways, and I have 2 questions that are like kind of trivia, and the first person to get the answer without using Google or anything like that will be the winner. And once you answer the first answer that gets the correct answer, that's it. You'll be then prompted to send your address and your name so we can go ahead and get your mailing address and get your gifts to you. So the first question I have to ask is a question about, I hope you guys went to school and paid attention to geography because it's something like that. So in Africa, there are 2 countries that share a body of water. They both start with the letter Z. What are the 2 countries that share a body of water in Africa that start with the letter Z? Okay, well that was that. We already have our winner. Miss Kete already answered before I could finish the question. So there we go, Miss Kete. Thank you so much. Wow, that was amazing. Like, how did you know that? Okay, I'm sure this one will be a little bit more trickier. It actually goes into the basis of Thanksgiving and football. So if you watch Thanksgiving on football and you do this traditionally, then you should know this answer. All right, what was the first NFL game on Thanksgiving and what year was it? That's a tough one. If not, maybe what's the year? People are definitely on Google for this because it's taking a little bit too long. And I am sorry, Miss Renetta, that's not the right answer. Okay, how about just the year? What year was the first NFL game on Thanksgiving? Wow, y'all, seriously? How many football fans are there? Like, wow. Well, let's see. Well, there we have it, but that's after definitely some Googling, but we're gonna go ahead and I'm going to give you another question. All right, they are colonies. There are two colonies in Africa. Either you're colonized by the A or the B. What are the two colonies? Okay. How about, well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss SP. That is definitely correct. It was definitely in 1934, and it was the Bears and the Lions. Okay, all right, thank you guys all so much. At this time, we're gonna give the audience a time to chime in, and we're going to do a quick Q&A with both the Night Cakery and DMB Chop Bar. So Miss Carmen Knight, okay, hi guys. So we're gonna go ahead. Hello, Miss Carmen Knight.
Hi.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and give you the floor, give the audience the floor to ask you any questions, give you the floor to ask any questions to them, any desserts they prefer, or ask me any questions. The spotlight is yours.
Okay, sure. I would like to know what everyone's favorite dessert is.
Ooh.
My favorite dessert is, I love some tres leche.
That's good.
Of pies, like apple pie, pecan pie, coconut pie. I think I'm a pie fan for sure.
I'd be good with a good brownie.
Yeah,
Brownie and
yes.
like vanilla ice cream.
A warm brownie.
Yes.
Definitely. I'm not a pie person though.
Mm.
Our guests are tuning in. We have
Ooh, rum
bread
cake.
pudding. We have rum cake for the holidays.
Rum cake, bread pudding. That's good.
Okay, at DMV Chop Bar, what goat meat dishes do you make?
Ooh, we have a really good grilled goat.
Yeah.
So if you're craving some goat, it's really good. Or if you like any of our stews, we can always add goat into that as well.
Yeah, but grilled goat is definitely one of our top sellers. We have a lot of customers that order platters of that as well. So definitely grilled.
Okay, do you guys have any questions to ask us?
I'm just curious if anybody has had any Liberian food. And if so, what dishes?
Yes. Yes. We have some questions. Clara asks, where can the goat meat be purchased?
Oh, definitely with us. You can email us for your order at wachopbar@gmail.com or on our Instagram and our Facebook pages. You can definitely reach us to place an order as well.
And we're gonna make sure that's go ahead and put in the comment section. And okay, Michelle asks, what spices do you add to your goat meat?
Ooh. So we use a blend of fresh herbs that is really nice that we use with a lot of our meats. But yeah, so we'll use like basil and parsley and oregano and all of those nice spices.
Kete asked, what are some of the challenges you have faced and any advice for someone starting out? This is towards both the Night Cakery and DMV Chop Bar.
So definitely just start. I think the first thing that we did one night is we're like, okay, let's start cooking. That night we took pictures of our food and we started an Instagram and our Facebook page. And that has been like our number one push just in terms of marketing. So definitely get over the fear. Don't think of all the logistics that it takes, just start. And then from there, you'll learn obviously all the operational and kind of coordination aspects of it. But the first thing you need to do is definitely just to start.
I agree with that. Definitely don't wait to have everything in order before you start. Just do it. Just get out there and start your business and try to find someone to partner with. So like a mentor to show you the ropes. It's really hard to get to have your questions answered and to find out information. So if you could find someone who's been doing this, I would advise you, to reach out to them.
Thank you both so much. Carmen, what coconut desserts do you offer?
So far, I've just done a coconut cake. That's the only request I've gotten so far. But, whatever request I get, I definitely will fulfill the request. So far, just coconut cake.
Okay. Are there any more questions? And June and Precious, do you guys have a coconut dessert?
So we actually have a pecan coconut pie that we offer usually around the holidays. It is on our menu, but it's definitely popular around the holidays for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. So that is I think one dish that we have coconut in this fall that's on our menu. This isn't on our menu, but Liberia has a coconut candy that's really good that we could make as well.
Pecan coconut pie. That sounds really delicious because I love pecan and coconut. Mm-hmm. I'd have to sacrifice the pie for that day. Someone asked, Mr. JP asks, do either of you need tasters?
Always. I mean, we're definitely, as we progress, we're experimenting on different things and different ways to bring our traditional foods into mainstream, some of the Liberian culture, flavors and recipes, how to make it, kind of more mainstream. So we're definitely testing out new things. So always.
And DMV Chop Bar, what is your most challenging and difficult recipe?
Ooh. It'd probably be the stews. Because a lot of the Liberian stews that we make, it's time consuming. It takes a lot of mixing, a lot of ingredients. So we can just make it throwing in stuff, but to explain it to somebody else or to have an actual recipe to provide to somebody else might be a little bit challenging.
Yeah, because I'm a big risk taker. I go ahead and just go on YouTube, but I don't think I can go on YouTube and make a solve a leaf. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, is a big one.
Seriously, I'm telling you, there's no way. And we have one more question for Miss Carmen. What type of cookies do you prepare for the holidays?
I do a lot of sugar cookies, almond cookies, chocolate chip cookies. And they're pretty much made to order. So, whatever you request, but mainly a lot of the sugar and the almond and shortbread cookies for Christmas.
Any banana pudding?
Yes. Yeah,
awesome.
Definitely banana pudding.
Okay, so either Precious, June, or Miss Carmen, any other last words for our guest this evening?
Thank you all for tuning in. Definitely, this is a great opportunity, I'm sure, for all of us. So we're glad to have you all join today's segment.
Yes, thank you so much. And it was a great segment. Thanks for everyone being here and participating.
Thank you both so much. You all did an amazing job. I look forward to trying both of your foods and what you guys have to offer. I'll be definitely ordering some cupcakes and definitely ordering some food.
Thank you
Great.
so much.
Thank you so much, Lena.
Of
Bye.
course. Sure. Okay, thank you all for tuning in. And if you did win any of the trivias, please do make sure you send us your information, your name, your address. We're going to drop an email link so you can go ahead and send it to that. I appreciate everyone for tuning in today again, and make sure you tune in to FAsMarketplace. We're gonna go ahead and drop all of our Instagram handles and anything that we'll be posting any information on. Our first episode is gonna air in March of 2022, and I look forward to doing the same thing over again. Make sure you fill out a survey after you're done and just let me know how I did, let our guests know how we did, and just give me your feedback. Period. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.
Te busco, te procuro, ó Deus. Silêncio tu estás. Eu te busco, toda hora espero em ti. Revela-te a mim. Conhecer-te eu quero mais. Senhor, te quero ouvir tua voz. Senhor, te quero mais. Quero tocar-te, tua face eu quero ver. Senhor, te quero mais. Prosseguindo para o alvo eu vou. A coroa conquistar. Lutando, nada pode me impedir. Vou te seguir, conhecer-te eu quero mais. apagar a luz e eu não puder mais enxergar o colorido dos meus sonhos, o mundo tentará apagar. Eu sei que o dia vai nascer e novamente eu vou ver a mão de Deus erguendo o sol pra mim e a esperança não morrer. Se eu der ouvidos ao que Deus tem para mim, eu estarei seguro, sem temer o mal. Se a circunstância me disser pra eu desistir, eu guardarei meu coração. Um coração nas mãos de Deus, nunca desiste de bater, trazendo sempre à memória coisas boas que geram esperança.